Hello people of the internet, that channel with everything here. So today, I have some interesting news. I'm not typed to do one of these news type of videos, but it's kind of like a news type of video that leads into a discussion that's been going on in the Stikbot community for quite a long time now. And I haven't really addressed it that much yet, except for my last video. But I'm gonna get into that more on a separate video besides this one. But in this video, I'll still be touching on the subject that, you know, about Stikbot Central's old shows and like what they mean to people and why they shouldn't bring them back. If you're not in the loop, Stikbot Central originally announced kind of that they've started a lot of new series, you know, all those pilots that came out last year and stuff. None of them really took off. Not in my opinion, just like in the general opinion, considering that they haven't renewed most of them. And Stikbot says everybody enjoys their old shows more, so they had a meeting with their animation team, which is FizzBuzz, by the way, and they say, we're excited to say that this upcoming year will have content we know everyone will love. And I'm here to tell you why this is not a good thing, at least probably, like, you know, with the current rep of the channel and everything. I'm just kind of here to give my thoughts on this and why I don't think it's a very good idea. Don't let this change your opinion if you're excited though. I'm just putting my thoughts out there. So yeah, without further ado, hope you enjoy. So this was originally announced on a post, like I forgot, it was like the post before their pajama day post or something. I don't know. I'll put the screenshot up there in editing. But user Chris Seth said, "Wow, another series no one will watch." Oh, it was on like a little sneak peek of the Clickbot Guardians series video that's up on their channel. You know, my guy Chris Seth, or they or whatever, kind of put it a bit bluntly there, but I mean, you know, a lot of us are thinking it, to be honest. Skipping over Jordan being a nice guy, Stikbot Central would then reply with, at Chris Seth, "Hi Chris Seth, what kind of series would you actually like to watch?" Then Chris Seth would reply with, at Stikbot, "Original Stikbot show, What the Bot, Tales of the Strange, Stickcraft, Look Animals, and let me know if there's any more series you never continued." Yeah, it's kind of sad, man. All of those shows absolutely slap, by the way. Except Look Animals is kind of just decent looking back on it, but yeah, for the most part, they were all pretty good. And also the Tales of the Strange ending was kind of bad, and it makes it even worse that there's still no season 2. But I'll get into that later. And that leads us back to this post from Stikbot replying to Chris Seth by saying, "I hear you, friend. We have started a lot of new series trying to test out what our fans like." I'm reading this from before, by the way. "It's clear that everyone really enjoyed our old shows, and me and my animation team have had a meeting about it quite recently. We're excited to say that this upcoming year, we will have content that we know everyone will love." Which, as I said, is probably not true, because if you don't know, they brought back the original Stikbot show, but it's like kind of a revival type thing. So what's called the Stikbot Show Morning Edition now. Currently with 5 episodes out, and it is worse than the original Stikbot show in literally every way. Don't get me wrong, like it has improved from the first episode and stuff. Like I've watched like up to episode 3, I think. I don't know. I just don't care about the show enough to watch like the newer episodes. So I guess I can't judge it on its full merits. But I don't know, man. The original Stikbot show that they brought back, it was kind of like a test to see if they could actually bring back other series, I guess. And, you know, it did well. They got like 30k views the first episode or something, or at least significantly more views than they already get, which shows that, you know, the plan did work for the most part, besides fan reception, which was pretty bad for the first episode originally. So then they decided to just bring back legacy characters and then act like the show was good after bringing back characters that they wanted, instead of, you know, actually improving the writing, which they kind of did, like by lessening the jokes and stuff from the last time I saw. But I don't know. The show was just so bland and boring. It lacks literally all of the charm from the original Stikbot show. And like, I don't know, the voice acting is just worse, like for Stikbot, for the last time I checked. There's no guests, like they still have like Bot.0 and everything kind of, which I guess that's cool. And they actually did improve on that from like the first episode and stuff. So, you know, they are improving, but it's like little by little, and you know, the show's still alright for what it is, but it's just not as good as the original. If anything, it kind of tarnishes the reputation of the original Stikbot show. One of like the top S-tier Stikbot shows, probably. And it just kind of ruins the legacy of it, because, you know, I don't mean to sound like a boomer or anything, but right now, like, you know, with the Stikbot show and the Stikbot show morning edition, it's kind of that situation where it's like that, so glad I grew up with this and not this type of meme. Like, it's literally that, man. And, you know, part of me feels kind of bad because, you know, I know the company is trying to, like, make stuff that the fans like, but it just keeps on, like, it's just worse than the original. And the new stuff isn't that good as the original either. So it's kind of like a lose-lose situation. You bring back the old show, which makes fans happy, but then the show ends up being worse, which makes most fans angry and wondering why they even bought the show back in the first place. But the fans wanted the show back, but they didn't think that it would be as worse, so it's not really the fans' fault. And it just ends up being a whole freaking mess. Like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of cool shows that I like bought back too, but if they're just gonna be worse than the original and ruin the legacy, then, you know, what's even the point, honestly? And modern Stikbot Central humor just isn't the same anymore. A lot of old Stikbot Central shows relied on, like, story and humor to kind of carry them, and most of that just isn't there in the new Fizzbuzz shows. The only show that I've watched that has managed to keep up a consistent quality is Clickbot Galaxy Defenders. And that show aired like last year and it still has no season 2. And it's like everybody's favorite show. If they've, you know, watched it, that is. But now the show has just evolved into like spin-off bonus missions of like Animal Crossing and like flossing and TikTok dances. And it's just so corporate and bad and just like... Old Stikbot Central would like do these type of things too, like where they'd make like videos on like modern trends and stuff. But you know, at least those videos were actually funny. Like the water bottle flip, what the bot is kind of old and dated because, you know, the meme isn't like cool anymore. But I could still laugh at that because the jokes are actually good. You know, maybe it wouldn't be such a bad thing. Maybe people wouldn't crave the old shows so much, besides like the fact that they came out during our childhoods, and those were like just simpler times in general. Maybe we wouldn't have to act for these series if the new ones were actually good. So personally, I think before they bring back any of the old Stikbot shows, they need to make like a really good show first, not just some one-off like Galaxy Defenders that gets its legacy tarnished by like freaking bonus missions and Fortnite dances and freaking Among Us. Oh yes, also, they brought back the Stikbot show and the episodes are like way shorter now, which means that they're bite-sized and they leave less of an impact. So if Stikbot Central is going to bring back any story-oriented types of shows, then they need to give them the time that they actually have to like shine. Because I remember there was like a Megabot show on Stikbot Central called Avalanche, and it was actually pretty good. But the problem with it is that every episode was like 2 minutes long, and then the entire series only ended up being like 10 minutes. It was really good, but it was just so short because they just didn't give it the time that it needed to actually develop into like something really special. So in conclusion, I guess, I think I've said everything that I need to say. If I hadn't said anything about modern Stikbot Central that I like haven't mentioned in this video already, it's probably in the Tiny Bit of Everything episode 12 podcast. I'll leave the thumbnail here in editing. Also, you can watch it in this the description if you want. Go check it out if you want to hear more of me, Sebastian Movie Studios, and Marshmations, and maybe some like other content creators from the live chats thoughts on modern Stikbot Central. But yeah, in conclusion, basically, before you bring back the old shows, make good new shows and like, you know, make them unique, make the stories good, make the humor good. Don't rely on like modern pop culture that much, or else you're gonna just date everything and just make the channel really like more cringe than it already is. Animation's on point though. That's something that has definitely improved over old Stikbot Central, I think, or at least a lot of them. Especially like the effects and green screen and stuff. That's really good. So yeah, I guess that's all I really have to say. If I have influence now, I would say, on the poll, you should vote for Tales of the Strange, because like that's the only series that probably won't be ruined, since like that show is actually like legit mostly based on story, and it was the only Stikbot Central series that I could think of right now that has like a massive cliffhanger that hasn't been resolved yet, and it actually needs to continue because they just left it on like the biggest cliffhanger, and that came out like 4 years ago. So legitimately thinking about it, that is the only Stikbot Central show that actually has to be brought back. So please go vote Tales of the Strange. That would be really cool. And also Stikbot, Fizzbuzz, whatever the heck it is. Get the original like writers of the shows to like supervise over it and make sure that you like can keep the legacy of the original like alive and still well and not ruin the reputation of it. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Basically, TLDR, make the shows good. Make the original shows good before you bring back the old shows, and then we'll probably be cool with it. Yeah, thanks for watching my rant or whatever this is, I guess. Yeah, bye. Oh wait, one last thing. I wouldn't normally say this, but like the video if you actually agree with me, because that means it'll get recommended more, which means there's more of a chance that Stikbot will actually, see this and watch it, and they'll actually take in my criticisms and yours too if you leave a comment on your thoughts to heart. So, yeah, share too. I don't.